What's going on, YouTube? Going live this morning. I'll tell you a little bit about what I've been up to while I wait for some people to enter the chat room here. I just got done doing a video and I forgot to turn my mic on. And I don't have time to redo the video or anything like that, so you guys will get a video later on this channel with subpar audio, but it's still a good one. I was talking about Big Pharma, what I've been noticing about vaccines. There's been a load of news, propaganda news, coming out lately on vaccines. You know, it's that time of the year. It's what they call that flu season. So go get your flu shots, folks, right? No, not at all. In fact, isn't it interesting? They try to claim that there is a flu season as if there's a season for sickness. You know, it's kind of ridiculous in that there's no season for the flu. You can get the flu any time of year. It's just about you being out of balance and your body's trying to knock you back into balance by getting sick. It's a warning system. If anything, a lot of people are scared of getting sick. They're scared of the flu. Well, that's just your body telling you something's wrong and strengthening your defenses. So yeah, I've been noticing a bunch of flu shot propaganda coming out. I talked about that in the video, some stuff on HPV vaccines as well. And then in that video, I was talking about climate change as well. So we had a report come out a week ago about climate change. That started going around the mainstream media. There's a lot of articles I also saw come out along with that climate change push on geoengineering. There's articles in the mainstream media. I saw one on The Guardian that was trying to say that we need geoengineering to save global warming. It's like, oh my God. Oh my God. So yeah, a lot of stuff to talk about in regards to all those topics. You'll see that in the later video. And I'll be doing another video today on what's gone on with Hurricane Michael too. I'm sure many of you have seen, it was a woman's YouTube video where she was looking at the data from the buoys and the wind speed data on land in Florida there, and she found all of this weird, it was a very short area in which there was actually hurricane strength anything, not the massive area that we should expect with a hurricane. So it was as if this hurricane was specifically, it's like it was pulsed. It's like it was pulsed into a very specific area. I even saw a video from Dane Wigington of Geoengineering Watch where he found evidence of microwave technologies being used with Hurricane Michael. So I'll be doing a video on that a little bit later to kind of clarify what she was discussing and the data that she was showing. And use my little whiteboard for that. It'd be a very easy picture to paint. You know, it's something you need a picture for. So there'll be that. And there's a lot of other videos I'm working on too as well. I took the last couple days off just to work on some other big projects. So a little bit of a YouTube break there, but now back at it, making videos. Going to be doing some question and answer videos. I've been getting a lot of questions all over the social media spectrum on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook. I just get random questions from people that I want to answer. You know, I don't have time to answer them individually on each platform because I get so many, but there'll be usually a common thread in the questions. So just get back to doing those short, just get a question, answer it, boom, upload it. Very easy to do. Isaac Cappy, somebody said Isaac Cappy. I just talked to him this morning, actually. He's good. He's off Twitter now. They suspended his account, so they took him to Twitmo, as they say. And but he's good. He's on some other platforms too, so no worries there. Boop. Hold on, got some moderating to do. Boop. What do I think is going to come out of the Just Informed Talk situation? So somebody mentioned that he hasn't posted a video since Friday. That's only 2 days, guys. That's only 2 days. You know, I often take a YouTube break for 2, 3, sometimes 4 days, depending on what I need or what I'm doing. So maybe he's busy, maybe he's just taking the weekend off. But I have heard that his whole channel got demonetized, which sucks. Totally blows for him, so he needs our support. Got a question on when is Ormus coming? So I am working on redoing my website. I've been saying that for so long. I need to get these things done, get on these projects, get them done. I have so many things going on that's like bit by bit. I've been working on each one, but I need to just sit and focus on one to knock it out and then on to the next. That would help a lot of things, actually. Help a lot of this overthinking that's going on in my head. Get out of there. So one of those projects is redoing my website. I want there to be a store function on my website. I want to have Ormus on there. I want to have Orgonite on there. I've had some people email me as well, asking if they can find a way to make a relationship work so I can put their products on my website. If you've emailed me, I'll get back to you shortly. I will get back to you. Comb through those emails and check. So yeah, that's going to be something I'm very excited for. New website with that looks a whole lot better, that you can sign up with my newsletter on there. And then I'm also looking to put out a DTI app to go along with that website that'll be released. So on that app, I mean, you'll be able to get notifications when anything I post drops, or go find the social media feeds, and there'll be some neat functions on that app too. And that's something they'll have a difficult time censoring that. If they censor us on one platform, just pop up on another, like moles, right? They can't beat them all down, so just keep popping up. I saw saw an article this morning from the New York Times, so always remember who you're reading what from. This came from the New York Times, and it was discussing why we need to dump our Instagram and Facebook accounts. So the New York Times was saying that we need to dump Facebook. That's weird. Why would they be saying dump Facebook? Well, it's because it's become a liability for them. Not only is so much information coming out showing how Facebook sells our data and they keep getting hacked and all this nonsense, but Facebook is doing a damn good job at waking people up. Us, you and I and everybody else who shares information and memes and woke content on Facebook, they can't censor it enough anymore. Yeah, the other day they banned 800 pages, like the Free Thought Project and Anti-Media, et cetera, but that's just like a kind of a drop in the bucket in terms of everybody. I mean, there's hundreds of thousands and millions of people on Facebook that are using it to wake up their friends and family, and they can't censor everybody. So now that, sorry, super chat distracting me here. I'll get to that one in a sec. So now that, they can't censor it enough. There's so much information coming out that's painting Facebook in a bad light that it's become a liability. Now they're telling everybody to dump it. Just get off Facebook. Just get off it, right? How funny is that the deep state created these tools, created Facebook and Twitter and YouTube to monitor us and to feed us specific narratives, but now it's just gotten out of control and they can't keep a lid on it. So now it's become a liability, so dump it. And I appreciate the super chat, my friend, but I will disagree with you. The earth is not flat. That's all I got to say about that. Cool. So what other... There's a live stream UFO in France right now. Interesting. I'll need to get to that in a minute. We need to go back to Facebook. I know a lot of people are trying to get off these big tech platforms and big social media platforms and move on to alternative ones, which I totally agree with. But at least for myself, I'm trying to, reach people in the mainstream, people who don't quite get it yet. So I don't want to put myself onto a platform that's going to be an echo chamber. On one end, it would be nice to post on social media where everybody gets it more or less. But the point here is that we're trying to reach those that are unaware. And it just so happens that most of these unaware people are on Facebook, they're on Twitter, they're on Instagram. So I'm going to keep posting these places. I'm going to keep posting on YouTube until I can't no more. More t-shirts with truth propaganda. For sure, t-shirts. Working on those. I'll have a few designs up. I think I'm going to put 3 designs up either later today or tomorrow on my Spreadshirt. So I will mention that in some of my next videos when I do. I want to try to have 2 or 3 designs up each week or every other week. Something pretty consistent. Thanks, Becky. Appreciate it. Do I do a Discord channel? I do not do Discord. I only have so much time and energy, and there's only one of me. So I only use a select few social media platforms the most, really Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All the big social media ones. Although Discord, I've seen a lot of more people start using. Maybe. I think I created an account and tried to log on once, but sometimes they overwhelm me. I'm like, oh, a new platform. I don't want to have to learn this, so I just log out and don't log in ever again. Again, I need an assistant. Damn right I do. I do. When do I think 0 Point Energy will go mainstream and get declassified? Funny enough, of course, you saw Kanye at the White House the other day, but something that wasn't so reported because everybody was so focused on what Kanye said and the mainstream media was just trying to call him names and all this kind of shit. But Kanye actually gave President Trump and his family updated MAGA hats, and these hats, one of them said travel space again. I saw Ivanka Trump wearing that one. It was black. And then I believe, who was wearing the other one? Can't remember who was wearing the other one, but it said make Earth great again. Like travel space again. Again, those are just really weird topics to be putting on hats to be giving to the Trump family, especially from Kanye, right? Travel space again. Well, of course, background information. We've been traveling space for a while now in programs way outside of NASA, but obviously they can't just go and say that in some brand new hats in the White House. But what a seed to plant in people's consciousness right there, right? What a seed to plant. Now, I think when it comes to these 0 Point free energy technologies, we still have a long way to go. We still need to cleanse out plenty of what's going on in the 3-letter agencies. And of course, the transition is going to have to be one that is not chaotic for the public mind. If we just come out and said, yeah, we've had these technologies for decades and inventors have been killed and suppressed trying to get them out and yada yada. I mean, that's a that red pill is a little bit too big for some of those folks to swallow. So it's going to have to be a slow rollout. What I have noticed, though, is that, yeah, Trump is totally trolling NASA with Space Force. It's pretty hilarious. He's trolling the Air Force with Space Force, too, which is even more hilarious. But what I have been noticing come out in mainstream media is little tidbits of real science, if we want to call it that, real science. I saw hold on, I want to reference these articles I have up over here. One of them was on Forbes, and this was headlined, "If you travel far enough through space, would you return to your standing point?" Probably going to do a video tonight or tomorrow morning, and I'll, one of the screen capture ones and talk more about this. But basically, in this Forbes article, it had the universe in the shape of a torus. That's what it was supposing in Forbes, that the universe was the shape of a torus. Not just this big expanding nonsense of dark matter from a Big Bang and all that, but it was actually supposing the idea that the universe might be some hypertorus, where the various dimensions are closed and finite, curving back on themselves. Interesting. Not only that, but Scientific American put out an opinion piece a couple of days ago that said, what would happen if everyone truly believed everything is one? New research suggests a belief in oneness has broad implications for psychological functioning and compassion for those are outside of our immediate circle. Interesting. I think there was a little grammatical error in their subheadline. That's why I kind of stumbled there for a sec. But new research suggests a belief in oneness has broad implications for psychological functioning and compassion for those are, oh yeah, that's total grammatical error. That's not me messing that up. But anyway, belief in oneness. A belief in oneness on Scientific American. Huh. Wow. Wow. Right? So are they, what I'm seeing from a big picture realm is that in the mainstream media, they're putting out little tidbits of truth. Now, of course, they don't really explain any of the cause and effect of it. They don't lead us down any sort of path trying to explain these ideas to us, but just tiny little tidbits of information. Interesting. And same thing when it comes to space. Same thing when it comes to ancient history, like archaeology and previous civilizations. All these little tidbits of scientific data being irked out bit by bit. Oh, we found this discovery, and new research suggests that civilizations could be far older than we thought. Oh, we hear about these new fast radio bursts and things going on in space, right? Tiny little tidbits. But then again, it's up to us to really fill in the blanks, to get that background information, to really understand what these scientific discoveries are teaching us. Okay? So it's going to be very fun times. And that being said, while we do see little tidbits of truth irk out here and there, we're seeing a lot of these. Yeah, same thing right there. Somebody just brought it up. You hear about particles leaving Antarctica going into space. In fact, I might just do a whole freaking episode on my thoughts on all of these scientific articles coming out. Because yes, the neutrinos, they're finding neutrinos in Antarctica. And of course, scientists with their mainstream minds, with their brainwashed minds, have no idea. But if you look into alternative theory, alternative physics concepts, it can help you understand these ideas a lot more so. And when it comes to these neutrinos being found in Antarctica, basically what I believe that to be is Earth changes. Earth changes. That whole ascension, right? Our electric universe is shifting quantum stages. It's evolving. And we're seeing our sun go through an evolution. We're seeing our Earth go through an evolution. We're seeing a lot of electromagnetic anomalies occur on our planet. And I think what's going on in Antarctica is a symptom of that, a symptom of our quantum cosmic shift that we're going through, okay? So like I said, bits of data, but they don't give you the background. They don't lead you down the path with it, but you can lead yourself down the path if you know where to look and what to look for. So, back to what I was going to say before the Antarctica rant. I've been seeing a lot of trolls. A lot of the troll peoples, whether it's bots, whether it's an actual person behind a computer, some paid troll just to create create 50 accounts on Twitter and 50 accounts on YouTube, manage all of them. They always have animated caricatures, their profile icon, and you can usually check and see that their accounts were started like yesterday. There's a lot of these trolls that are infecting more and more of social media. And I see it across a range of topics. A big one is vaccines. Speaking of vaccines, every single time I post about vaccines, whether it's a video on YouTube, whether it's on Twitter, it's a meme, Instagram. I'm getting more trolls on my Instagram because I'm getting a few more followers there. Man, them accounts, they pop in, they go, oh, you're an idiot, you stupid conspiracy theorist, go get your flu shot. All kinds of stuff like that. Especially happens with space. I'm seeing it happen more and more with space topics. Anytime I post about space, mention the secret space program, mention anything of that regard, oh man, they're like rabid. Aliens are demons! Aliens are demons! They're all fallen angels, blah, 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 this stuff. And, oh, the Earth is flat. Space is fake, bro. Space is fake. The Earth is flat. NASA lies. It's like, oh, my God. And it's the hashtags that get them, the algorithms. So I can tell if on Instagram I make a post about space and I don't hashtag it, I don't get quite as many trolls. But when I make a post on Instagram about space and I hashtag it, I go, hashtag secret space program, hashtag Space Force, hashtag UFO, blah, blah, blah. Put them all in, hashtag free energy, et cetera, et cetera. Boom! It's like they're waiting. It's like they're perusing these hashtags on Instagram, and then these paid trolls just jump in and say their dumb stuff, and then argue. And they argue, and they try to waste your time. That's what they're trying to do. They try to waste Truth Seekers' time, because if they can take 15 minutes out of your day, 15 to 20 minutes of you freaking getting into this pointless argument on Instagram, like, son of a bitch, now I got this stupid person on my Instagram trying to discredit me, now I gotta go back and forth with them, reply like 5 times. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to get a response out of you, so you waste your precious time. Not only do you waste your time physically, that's say 15 minutes on Instagram you just wasted, but they also waste your mental energy, because you're going to go away from your phone and start doing things and think about it. So that's more time they're wasting. That's time in their brain that they're wasting. So that's why most of the time, 99% of the time on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, I don't even respond. I don't even respond. If it's just plainly obvious it's a troll account, block them. Don't even respond. Although sometimes, the reason I leave a little 1% in there is because sometimes those paid trolls they leave the door wide open for you to do a perfect rebuttal. So sometimes I will retweet a troll, and I will say something. And I don't let it affect me. You have to practice detachment when you're on the internet, when you're doing these sorts of things. You have to practice detachment. I don't care. You can say whatever you want on Twitter. You can call me some government asset. You could say I'm paid off. You could say I'm an idiot. You could say I don't source what I say, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Even if I respond to it or retweet, I don't care. It's just the reason I respond to haters in that manner is because that's just going to be a great example for people to learn from. That's it. I'm not bothered by it. It's not an ego thing. It's an opportunity to show the propaganda, to show the lack of critical thinking, or to show it's just useful. It's useful, right? So that's the only reason I don't ignore trolls. If they're just so useful, if it's such a dumb comment, I'm like, oh my God, this is how they work. And you can expose that. You can expose them with their own dumb things they say. Tell us the true origin of aliens then. All right, I will. At least from my perspective and what I pieced together. Again, it's all relative truth, right? So logical thinking in my head, our universe is here to promote, and evolve life. So to say that there is an origin of extraterrestrial intelligence, I think is illogical to say. Extraterrestrial intelligence has always been around. Why? Because our universe has always been around. Creation has always been around. And creation evolves life to come to know itself a little more. So no, I don't think there's ever been a beginning to extraterrestrial intelligence. Now we can maybe surmise to say there was a beginning to their interactions here on Earth. And it's just logical to say, yeah, extraterrestrial intelligence has been here before. They've been here in the past. Why not? Okay, let's take it a step further. How about in modern history? Okay, we see the words fallen angel and Anunnaki and, all these different terminologies thrown out there for their involvement in our current history. We're talking current history being maybe the last few tens of thousand years to a few 100,000. Well, a lot of people get caught up in that whole fallen angel thing because they tend to be just very narrow-minded from their religious scripture. But if we look at a big picture from across the spectrum and throw the semantics out of it, fallen angels, you could just call them the elongated skull people or, whatever you want. But there seems to be an intelligent race who came here in our history and started manipulating with the life on this planet. And that's how our civilization here came to be. Now, when you look at ancient civilizations, such as those in the Mayan culture, Native American, and even over in Asian culture, there's all kinds of depictions of them praying to some sort of extraterrestrial intelligence and beings that were humanoid but not human. Okay? All right, that's logical deduction there. And let's go further. So it could be such that they're even having a hand, they meaning other races, both good and bad, both service to other and service to self races, are having a hand in what's going on now on this planet. Call them angels, call them demons, there's different names for them. But it is good to get a little specific because these beings, they can take a physical shape and they can take a non-physical shape. So when people say, oh, they're demons, well, kinda, like if you want to call them that, yeah, but it's bringing a lot of bad connotation into the picture. And I like to see things scientifically and spiritually. Like somebody just said there's no such thing as relative truth, and that's false. Relative truth is what you believe, what I believe, what each one of us believes. That's relative truth. There's an absolute truth out there, and that's what is. That's all that is absolute truth. What we're trying to do is just come as close to that absolute truth as we can, but we're still human. We still have perceptions. We still, we can't tap into that is the point. So with your relative truth, yeah, I mean, my relative truth then, there's only one way, there's only one absolute truth, and it's very difficult to describe it because language, because of connotation, because of people's certain perceptions, You could say a word, like I could say extraterrestrial, and to me, it means something completely different than that same word to another person. And if you actually take a look at what ancient scripture tells us, and I'm not just talking about the Bible, I'm talking about Greek mythology, I'm talking about Vedic scripture, I'm talking about scripture everywhere, that's actually all very similar. Very similar. There's common threads throughout all of them, common archetypes. So, okay, they're trying to tell us something. All of them are. There's bits of truth in all the ancient scriptures. You just have to look at it in certain ways, with certain perspectives that aren't dogmatic in nature. Okay, so all the ancient scriptures are trying to tell us specific things. Science is too. Science is too, but unfortunately, mainstream science these days is a religion in and of itself. So when you're scientifically trying to discern what reality is, you have to go to the alternative scientists and philosophers. That's why I'm a heavy promoter of the work of Walter Russell and Nikola Tesla and Dewey B. Larson and Victor Schauberger. And I love studying the works of Carl Jung and Joseph Campbell, is because they try to bring all these things together. The best minds out there are the uncommitted investigators that don't have financial strings to them or ego strings attached or whatever the case is. They're just trying to look for the truth. They're just like, what the heck is going on here? And it's bits of truth are found everywhere. You just gotta find them. Do I believe Bible? Somebody said. I don't know, depends. It depends. Let's really extract what they're trying to say. What's my thoughts on the deep state creating hurricanes? All right, great question. I also got a great question on the simulation idea. Both I can answer very quickly. First of all, deep state creating hurricanes. No, they cannot create storm systems. Storm systems are a natural function of our electromagnetic Earth. They cannot be created, but weather systems, as they form and begin moving closer to land into the weather tracks, the deep state can intensify them, and then towards the end of the storm track, maybe direct them or divert them just a tad bit, but they can definitely strengthen them and intensify them. These weather warfare technologies absolutely exist. and I think they've been used before. So that's my answer to that. Number 2, simulation. I don't think we live in a simulation. No. I don't even know really what the premise behind that idea or theory is. I think it's just kind of a lot of theoretical nonsense jargon that people who think they're smarter than they really are throw out there to seem philosophical. To say that we live in a simulation means that there's somebody doing the simulating, somebody behind the scenes, right? Creating the simulation. And if that were the case, then you have to throw free will out of the picture. Because if there's a simulation, there's a simulation maker, and if there's a simulation maker, you don't have free will. So no, that's not the case. I think, and again, it kind of boils down to an issue of semantics, like what's your definition of a simulation, blah, blah, blah. Nassim Haramein calls it a holofractographic universe. There's a lot of people throwing the holographic universe idea around. No, I don't think it's a simulation. I think we particularly, if you do want to call it a simulation, we are the designers of that. We have a co-creative collective consciousness here that we create reality with. What are my thoughts on the 7 principles of hermetics? Yeah, love it. I love Hermetic philosophy. It's amazing, amazing stuff. I've just recently cracked open the Kybalion again and started reading that. And if you want to understand deep philosophical aspects that you can apply to anything, read Hermetics, because those cosmic laws in that book really will help you understand anything better. You can understand your health better, how your body functions better. You can understand scientific principles better. You can understand even religious principles better. Like it'll give you a more big picture perspective when you're trying to read things like the Bible or Vedic scripture or certain mythologies, if you have Hermetic understanding. So it's deep. It's deep stuff, but if you are ready for it, you will choose that kind of information. Here's a good question. Why would Corey Goode copyright Secret Space Program? No, it's not because he's trying to profit. It's because he is trying to keep intellectual property. Because you'll notice that earlier this year, Gaia tried to copyright Disclosure. Okay. Big corporations are trying to come in and monopolize the narrative, right? So all Corey is trying to do is not let any big corporations come in and try to take away the work, the intellectual property we're doing, right? About to release a movie called Above Majestics, The Implication of a Secret Space Program. So if anybody else were trying to come in and copyright Secret Space Program, which they could do, then shit, we got to change the name. Got to change a lot of stuff about that movie then, right? So only the limited, unaware mind will think that Corey is trying to profit and copyright this because he's trying to subvert people or it's some self-service bullshit. Come on. It's quite literally an information war. And there's certain actors out there, certain limited hangout operations that are trying to monopolize the narrative for themselves. So when they strike, you've got to defend, right? And sometimes a defense means, damn it, I got to copyright something. It's the world of business we live in, guys. The world of business. And it sucks. It effing sucks. We have to deal with fiat currency bullshit. We have to deal with big corporations trying to copyright words and do dumb stuff like this. But it's the world we live in, so we've got to play by that game. Play by those rules, right? Just the way it is. Man, everybody keeps saying live UFO from France right now. You should, can you like tag, is there a link you can tag me on Twitter or send it to me some way or something like that? What if Truth gets copyrighted? Yeah. Let's not have them copyright any other words out there. That wouldn't be good. Let's see here. People keep saying Planet X, this, that. I don't subscribe. A note on Planet X. I don't subscribe to any of those particular beliefs. I think it's all kind of just misconstrued information. I think the whole idea of Planet X is that there was just a misunderstanding and that a particular Sumerian myth was not actually talking about our solar system. I think it was talking about another solar system. And everybody thinks that it was talking about ours, and it showed an extra planet in there, and then they think that's our solar system that Planet X is coming into, but I don't think that. I'm not worried about any sort of Planet X or Nibiru stuff. I think that's all some fear porn. Can I do a video or discussion on Dr. Samir Osmanagic? Yeah, I met him. I met him a few months ago, actually. If you're not familiar with Dr. Osmanagic, do I get that right? I always have to read it when I say it. Osmanagic. He's the man that is doing the main archaeological diggings unearthing the Bosnian pyramids. And I had the opportunity to meet him, the honor to hear him speak last August. And there's some topics I don't get into because I just don't know too much about them. I like to know a little bit about as much as I can, but there's only certain things that I go deep dives into. You know, ask me about health, ask me about any of those topics, fluoride, vaccines, GMOs, boom, we can talk for days. Ask me about space or the secret space program or like sciences and philosophies on a theoretical standpoint. Yeah, I would love to talk to you for days, but when it comes to like Bosnian pyramids, I don't know too much about them. All right, guys. Any last questions here? I'm going to get going for today. Please, what are the two drawings behind me? It's going to be one of my next videos I've been meaning to do is overview these things. A couple awesome graphic designers put these flowcharts together and they sent them to me. I don't like to call them Q-maps, though. I don't like to call them Q-maps because they have not been approved by Q. I like to call them like, this one's the Great Awakening map, this one's the Deep State Mapping Project. This one's made by a dude named Champ, this one's made by a guy named Dylan. So I like to call them by their respective names, not Q-maps, because that makes it sound like they are official in some way. It's not technically. Am I still planning an ECETI retreat? I will be, yes. Yes, absolutely. I want to do like a DTI, my own retreat or my own little conference at ECETI Ranch in Washington here next May or June. I'm going to shoot for May or June. Ooh, let's see here. X22 Report, SGT, or Just Informed Talk. What do I think of their Q and deep state journalism? I think all those three outlets are amazing. X22, that guy works his butt off. He handles 2 YouTube channels, 1 interview channel, 1 report channel. And Sergeant Report, he works his butt off too. You know, I check out their videos and I check out my videos. I'm like, man, SGT puts so much time and effort to editing those up, and it pays off for him. He gets massive view counts and his subscriber counts going through the roof. But I'm like, man, maybe I should edit my videos that way. And then I think in my head, I'm like, I have 0 time in the world to do that. He spends a lot of time and effort doing that. So absolute props to SGT. He deserves the subs and the view counts he's getting. And I'm a big fan of Just Informed Talk too. So I like all those outlets. And that's kind of the interesting thing, right? Is that we all report on generally some of the same stuff, like the ending of the deep state, political corruption, et cetera, but then we all have our own niches our own specificities. I'll talk about space. I like to talk about aliens. I like to talk about health stuff, right? A lot of these kind of envelope pushing subjects. And then they talk about their subjects. It's cool. I like to see it because everybody's bringing their own piece to the table. Let's see. I like Joe from Carolina. He puts a lot of evidence in his videos. No, he doesn't. No. The videos I have seen, all he does is try to like take a tweet of mine way out of context and rag on it for like 20 minutes. Can I talk about how psychiatry is a pseudoscience? I completely disagree. I'm a massive fan of learning psychology, especially psychoanalysis. So the work of Carl Jung, the work of Dr. Joseph Campbell, the work of Wilhelm Reich. Yeah, all of those, I'm a big fan of psychiatry in the way of character development. So learning archetype structures, learning how to psychoanalyze somebody, how that shows in the body too. You can have certain body character structures that show certain developments in the mind. I mean, yeah, it's not a pseudoscience at all. BP Earthwatch, I see him showing up in the chat. I'm a big fan of his YouTube channel too. Like BP Earthwatch. Yeah, Joe from Carolina hates Jordan. Maybe he's paid to hate me. I wonder. Just throwing suppositions out there, guys. I'm not saying it's fact. I'm seeing what patterns arise from people out there. And those patterns show things. All right, guys. Oh yeah, Edge of Wonder. I've been meaning to, I think we messaged a couple times a little while ago. I've got to get back in touch with them. That'd be a fun YouTube channel to be on. It's always the people with the open minds that are, that don't care what information gets brought up, that can go off on any subject, and are just cool with it. I love going on their shows. Like Quite Frankly podcast the other day. Awesome time on that show. You know, I don't like people who tell me what not to say. Let's just say that. If I have to go anywhere and they're like, let's not touch this subject, I'm like, but why? What's your reason? All right, guys. That's it for this one. I'm going to... When will I do this next? I'm going to try to later this week. Maybe on Thursday or Friday. Do my best to check in again live later this week. And do these on a weekly basis. Maybe even a couple more than that. Eventually leading up to a podcast that I'm going to do. So take care, guys. Have a beautiful Sunday. I will be uploading a video with some subpar quality audio very soon. And there'll be a lot more coming. So thanks, guys. Take care.